Alright, so I am going to be trying to do something today that I've not done before. I'm going to try and narrate a flight in real time. You've probably seen I've done a couple of flights already in the past where I've narrated them, but I've always narrated them once I got home. I normally sat down and wrote down a script and then kind of read it out as the video played. But today I'm going to try and narrate a video in real time, so just as I'm flying, I'm just going to talk, and I've got no idea how it's going to come out. You're probably just going to hear me just swearing a lot and saying a couple of hundred times. But I thought it'd be something a bit different to do, just to see what it's like. I'm going to be today flying this. This is my new Heewing T1 VTOL. I did just do a build video about this a couple of days ago, so if you haven't seen that, go watch it. But for those of you that don't know, this being a VTOL means that although it is a plane and it will fly like a plane, it will take off and land like a quadcopter. Just want to show off my amazing professional work on the tail here. Just for today's flight, I've put a one-cam thumb on the tail. I just cobbled together like a little tail mount like on Fusion last night and printed it in like the space of an hour. So it didn't even fit properly, and then I've just secured it with loads of electrical tape. Very professional looking, but hopefully it'll work just for this flight and you'll get some good footage to look at. So yeah, let me get this powered up. I just want to mention for this flight I'm going to be using a 2200 pack. On all the previous flights done on this, I've been using like a little 1300 4S pack, but this is going to be a 2200 3S pack. It does fit. It's a snug fit, but it does fit. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, what kind of flight time I get, whether it's a whole lot more or not. So anyway, yeah, let me get this powered up, get the radio and the goggles out, and then we'll get it in the air and take it for a flight, and you can listen to me ramble for a bit. Okay, so it's about 5 minutes later. The aircraft is all powered up. I don't know if you can see that. It's really hard to see on this screen. It's a really nice day. It's really bright and sunny, as you can see. Don't know how to deceive you though. It's really cold. It's about 4 degrees at the minute, hence why I'm wearing gloves. Anyway, so plane's down there, it's all powered up and ready to go. So what will be happening is I'll be taking off in VTOL mode, so it's going to lift up and hover, and then we'll take it up, I don't know, 10-20 meters or so, and then we'll transition it into fixed wing flight, and we'll just see what happens. So I will stand over here. I apologise if the audio on this isn't very good. Hopefully it will be. If it's not, I'll try and fix it in the video editor before you see this, but whatever. Try and remember to use my radio. Arm. Alright, there we go. Oh, wait. I need to turn on the one cam. Tail. It'd be a bit silly to take that up in the air and do a flight without turning the camera on, wouldn't it? Right, so arm, and then lift off. There we go. So the T1 VTOL does a bit of a weird thing, sort of good, sort of not. It's got something on it called weather vaning, which means that it'll automatically turn its nose into the wind. I kind of get why, that's a good thing to have, but at the same time it's really annoying because I want to fly in the opposite direction to the way this wants to turn, so I'm trying to turn it around. That'll do. So we're going to transition now. That's now going to transition into fixed wing mode. See whether it managed to do it properly. And it did. Transition airspeed was achieved. The way I've got this programmed at the moment is if after 10 seconds it doesn't reach transition speed, it will just completely transition anyway. The reason why I did that is because sometimes if you're flying on a bit of a windy day, it won't ever reach that transition speed, and then the plane will just keep flying in kind of like a half quadcopter, half plane mode, and you don't have any proper control, which is really annoying. But yeah, by enabling that 10-second timeout, it just gives you control after 10 seconds, and yeah, it seems to work. So yeah, you can see we're up in the air and we are in fixed wing mode. Kind of flying through the Fresnel zone at the moment, just can't really see anything. You know it's fixed wing mode because I can do that. You probably noticed those rolls are a bit wobbly. If you saw my build video, I did mention that in there. The mode I'm flying in is called, well, it's just called stabilized mode, which is a bit like horizon mode on iNav. Like, you can go full stick and do rolls and things, but if I take my hands off, as I'm doing now, it does self-stabilize, but it's a bit aggressive. So when I do a roll, it kind of snaps back into place a bit tight there. I'm at some point going to try some of the other flight modes. Like I might try, what was it, fly-by-wire A mode. A lot of people seem to say that was good. But at the moment, because I'm still like new to this plane, like stabilized mode works fine, so I'm sticking with that. God, look at the colour of that sea. That's beautiful. You wouldn't think it was the middle of December, right? That was really nice. There's a bit of turbulence out there off the cliff edge here. I'm actually getting a bit of lift. It'll be a good day for bringing my glider out, I think. Don't really have any sort of real plans this flight, other than to just fly it, get to know. Hello. Just fly the plane, get to know it a little bit. I've only managed to fly this a handful of times so far, and quite often it's been bad weather. It's probably the first time I've flown it where the weather's been, you know, really decent. Tell you what, I'll see if I can do a little flyby. If I can find where I am down here. See if I can swing by in front of the camera. The field I'm flying at the moment, you've probably seen a lot of my videos, I fly it quite often, but as far as I know, it is a farmer's field. And he does allow the public like access here, but sometimes, as you can see now, there are sheep here. Oh, I'm about to shoot myself, aren't I? I'm down there on the left. I thought I was in this this second field here, but I'm not. I'm in the other one. I'll turn around. Yeah, there are sheep here. For the most part, they don't really seem to care about my planes. Where am I? I'm still overshooting myself. I'm making a right mess of this, aren't I? Probably heard it fly by there. Let's try that again. Probably gone far enough. Turn around. See if I can do a nice slow flyby in front of the camera here. Hopefully not hit the camera in the process, because that would be silly, wouldn't it? Low enough. Hopefully you saw that on the camera. Let's climb back up again. I did have somebody on one of my previous videos, can't remember which one it was, somebody asked me if I could talk about what gear I'm using at the moment. So I've changed my radio. I was using a TX16S Max, I think it was. It was the first generation one. But I've recently upgraded now to a Tango 2. And the reason for that is because the TX16S, I really wanted to like that radio, but it kept breaking. And I don't know why. Like, I stored my radio in a hard case. Like a protective hard case, and to be honest, these don't fly very often either, but on 3 separate occasions over the last year, I went to get my radio out of the hard case, and I found that something had broken on it, for literally no obvious reason. I think the first thing that broke was the scroll wheel. Is that some people up there? What the hell? Can't tell if there's people or if that's trees. DJI fanboys there shouting now, being like, "Get HD, you'd be able to see, wouldn't you?" No, I think it's just trees. Yeah, on the TX16S, the scroll wheel broke first, and then the screen fell out. Not entirely, but it just became completely loose inside the body of the radio. And then most recently, the 3 buttons down the left-hand side of the screen on the radio, they also broke. And to be honest, that was a final straw for me. I don't like owning a radio that keeps breaking for no reason, and I just lost all confidence in its durability. So yeah, I've I've now got a Tango 2, and so far I'm really enjoying having it. It's nice actually owning a small format radio. Obviously as a fixed wing pilot, the Tango 2 isn't necessarily the best radio. It hasn't got very many switches, it certainly hasn't got sliders or anything, but actually I kind of concluded I don't need them. I think the switches on the Tango 2 will cover me for most eventualities. I mean, these days the only aircraft I own is this one here, my other Heewing T1, and then my big Volantrix Ranger, and this radio's got enough switches to cover everything I want to use on those planes. So yeah, no, I'm enjoying the Tango 2. So that's my radio. Other gear, so my goggles, they are the Orcas. They are again the version 1s. I've had these I think about a year and a half now, and I love them. And the module I've got installed in there is the rapid fire module, and again that just works really well. No complaints with that. And then for the antennas, so the big patch antenna I've got on there, that's a True RC, I think it's an X2 Air, or X Air 2 or something. I'll write on the screen what it is exactly. That's a patch antenna. It was quite expensive when I bought it. They've gone down in price quite a lot now, but that's a really good antenna for if you want to do any range. And then the other antenna is a Omni antenna. That's a True RC Singularity antenna. And I find the combination of those two antennas with the rapid fire module just works really well. I mean, I can't remember the last time I flew and I had really bad interference of snow. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I flew and had any interference of snow or any problems like that. It's just a really good little combination there. So yeah, if you're looking to get good range on analog, that is the way to go. Talking of analog, I've had a few people ask me, when are you going to move over to HD? The answer is I don't know. Maybe never. I like analog. Analog works just really well. It's simple, it's easy, it's like Lego. I mean, I can buy parts from any manufacturer and they all work together. Which unlike HD wouldn't be an option. If I go with HD, if I went with DJI for example, I have to then buy DJI compatible parts, whereas with analog I can buy whatever I want whenever I want, and obviously it's a lot cheaper as well. I may one day go to HD. One of my buddies, Joe, he's just bought the walk snail system. Hi Joe. Yeah, he's bought that, and I will have a look at that when he's got it and try it for myself. I mean, I'm never going to be the kind of person who will just buy something based on a review off the internet. Like, I want to see it for myself and actually try it out. So yeah, I will. When he gets it, I'll try it and I'll see what I think about it. And if I like it, then yeah, maybe next year I will finally move over to some kind of HD system. But even then, I think I'd still keep an analog setup as well. I'll probably have a bit of both, just because I like analog. Much better range in analog. I'm sure that there's some DJI pilots out there shouting, "No, it's not." It is. Analog's got much better range. Just check there's nobody walking around me a minute. Just sheep. Getting a bit paranoid here as I'm flying off. I've got the goggles on, and I can hear things moving around. And I was like, "Is that people? They think I'm a nutter here talking to myself?" But no, it's just a sheep. Where's my battery doing? 1,300 milliamps-ish. One thing about RD-Pilot that I don't like, it might be possible to fix it, I mean I'm quite new to flying with RD-Pilot, is I don't have a timer on screen. I don't know how long I've been flying for. Obviously on iNav I'd normally have that, well I normally have it located in the bottom right of the screen, but yeah, I haven't got a flight timer, which is a bit annoying. I want to know how long this flight's going on for. This is already the longest flight I've done on this plane though. I think most flights, I think the longest I did was about 2 or 3 minutes, something like that. I'm going to guess I've been flying 10 minutes or something, maybe a little bit less. I don't know. I will say actually, I was quite apprehensive about moving to RD-Pilot. I've been thinking about doing it for a couple of years now. But every time I looked at it, I just got really confused really fast and I got scared off because it's like, that's way too complicated. And I don't want to do it. But actually, you know, now I've done an RD pilot build for this this VTOL plane, I actually do kind of see why a lot of pilots like it. I just realised I'm flying at really high throttle, 70%. Let's back that down a bit. Yeah, I see why quite a lot of pilots like flying with RD pilot. Like, yes, it is complicated, and the graphical user interface for the programming is terrible. It's virtually non-existent. But there's a lot more like parameters that you can tune, and there's a lot more like redundancies and safety features. I mean, I think there's like something like 10 or 15 different pre-arm checks this aircraft will do before it will fly, which can be a bit annoying sometimes. You know, trying to get all of those ticked off. You know, sometimes it will hang up on a weird issue, like maybe the H dot won't be quite right or something. And I know that iNav also has some H dot requirements, but the ones on autopilot seem a little bit more sort of strict. But yeah, I don't know, I am kind of rambling, I know I am, but I am actually quite enjoying RD pilot, and I am considering whether the next plane I build or the next wing I build, I might actually make it an RD pilot one. I think it'd be good to get a bit more experience with RD pilot. I like learning new things, and RD pilot is quite versatile. I mean, something to say actually, my next RD pilot project has to even be a plane, right? I mean, you can use RD pilot for like building rovers and boats and like robotic arms and all sorts, right? So I don't know, maybe I'll do something like that, I don't know. But either way, I think that next year I will do another RD pilot build of some sort, just to see what it's like. Just realised that the battery's getting a little bit low there, isn't it? I've been kind of ragging this throttle quite hard. That's what happens when I talk and I fly, I don't pay attention. I didn't realise I've been hooning around at 70% throttle there for ages. And this isn't my battery, I'm borrowing my friend's battery, so I don't really know, like, you know, is it going to sag really badly or not. I'll tell you what, I'll send it out a little bit and then we'll do a return home test and let it land itself. One other thing I will mention actually about RD Pilot is for a while there I was finding it quite hard to fly because there's no home arrow. Normally I have the home arrow in the top middle underneath where the compass is there at the moment. But there's no home arrow and I couldn't find one in the OSD programming. Before I did eventually realise it's on the left there. It's built into the home distance little icon there. It is working as far as I can tell, but yeah, first couple of flights I did, I was complaining about having no home arrow, and I did actually have one. I just was too blind to notice it. Right, let's try and get some altitude, because to do return to home this wants to be at 50 metres. So let's take it up to 50 metres. Let's take it away a little bit as well, so I'm flying a bit close to home. There we go. So let's now put it into return to home. That should now come back to home. It will transition in a second. You see it say VTOL brake or something? Yeah, VTOL air brake. And I can now hear it overhead. And where's my altitude? 76, 75. It should now start descending. Yeah. Oh God, I'm blind. The sun's very bright. Get my phone out and I'll try and record this coming down. Forward. Where are we? So I was looking pretty precise. I was coming down pretty much directly on top of where it took off from. You see it there kind of spinning around and waggling a bit. I mentioned this in my build video. It does fishtail quite bad when it's descending. I'm going to assume it's to do with obviously bigger planes got quite big surface areas there, so like a tiny breeze will kind of knock it a fair bit. Equally, there might be some settings I can tune to try and get rid of those oscillations, but that's not bad. That's, I don't know, about 2 meters away from where it took off. This takes a really long time to disarm when it lands. Come on. Disarm. There you go. Yeah, that takes, well, I think it's set to disarm after about 5 seconds or something after it lands, which I don't know why. Again, there's probably a setting I can change to fix that. Right, let's go get this anyway. Actually, disarming is a good idea, isn't it? There we go. Just remember to turn the rum cam thumb off as well. There you go. It was a successful flight. It wasn't very long, I know, but how long did it say on the screen? 18 minutes this camera's been recording for, so I don't know, maybe it was like 15 minutes of flight there. I'll find out when I go and watch the footage, won't I? So yeah, I know it wasn't a very exciting flight. That was mostly just me flying around in circles, really, wasn't it? I was too busy talking to really pay attention to what I was doing. But so like I said, the goal of that flight really was just to kind of fly the plane, get a bit of experience with it, see how it handled, and see what kind of like flight time I was getting out of that battery. I think 15 minutes isn't too bad considering I was flying at 70% throttle for most of it. Yeah, no, I'm enjoying this plane actually. I kind of thought that like VTOL was a bit of a gimmick, and to be honest, when Heewing sent me the VTOL kit, like it was in a box on my desk for months because I just wasn't particularly excited about getting it built. But actually now I've got it done. I do quite enjoy flying it. Like yes, it is a bit of a novelty, just like being able to take off and land like that. Also, just if you're lazy, it's convenient, it's easy. You don't have to worry about making sure you got somewhere like big and open to land. One thing actually that is quite good is that you don't have to worry about launching into the wind. Behind the camera here at the moment, there's a big row of like quite high trees, and if the wind was blowing obviously from the direction of those trees, I wouldn't really be able to launch it in that direction because obviously it would hit the trees. So it's nice that I can take off. It doesn't matter which direction the wind's coming from, I can take off and fly, you know, wherever. I also think that if you're the kind of like pilot that likes to like do chase footage, like if you and your buddies are flying and like, you know, quite often like to put one plane behind the other, like you'll know how hard it is to find each other in the air. Like you'll be flying around for like 10 minutes, be like, where are you? Can't see you, and you know, you end up wasting a lot of battery. But I reckon with one of these, it'd be a lot easier because all I got to do is put this in the air and then just hover it over my head, and then say to my buddy, like, right, fly past my plane. You know where it is. It's above my head. And as soon as he flies past, I can then transition into fixed wing mode, and then I'm right there behind him, right? So actually, that might be a reason why VTOL might be good. Anyway, I think that's enough of me rambling and talking. I hope you've enjoyed listening to me ramble and talk. I don't think the flight footage was very exciting, but I am interested to see how the footage in this came out, because I reckon that'd be quite a cool little perspective on the tail there. If it worked, then obviously you would have seen it in this video. If it didn't, then you won't have. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know, because I might try and do more in this style actually. It's kind of easier to just narrate it as you go, rather than try and write a script and sync it up. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I will catch you next time, whenever that may be. Try and get some more flight videos out a bit more frequently. Keep meaning to, and I don't. Stop rambling, Giz. Say goodbye. Bye.